Bramble.
Knockouts. All gentlemen, let's welcome Gaetan Troy.
Counter punches, good jabbers, and taking Hart out early. We'll see what happens. In tip-top condition with Johnny Bumpus.
Gaetan Hart, look.
He's a respecting Stone Kid Bramble. Very also switched to southpaw if need be. Right now he is pursuing Gaetan Hart. A slapping left by Livingstone Bramble.
I think what you said earlier, he is pushing the fight.
Meanwhile,
if you will notice very close and hard, if you'll notice his mouth, he breathes out before breathing out. Now, I don't know why he does that. The punch. Breathing out now.
Down here in round number out period for both Tropicana Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City.
As he's punched.
Third by the WBA, 7th by Ring Magazine, and 8th by the WBC. Continues to pursue Gaetan Hart.
Gaetan Hart respects us the way he's reacting.
Hart's career got off to a slow start, but he's come on strong the last 3, 22 and 5.
Oh my God, 80 fights, that's an awful lot of fights now.
He won the Canadian Light Hart in round 6.
There's no question that he's fought. He wasn't, fortunate enough to win. He's had quite a number of losses.
See if that has any bearing on this one. He's shooting out those red trunks. And Bramble pouring in. Bramble trying so he can bang away with a minute remaining in round 2. By Bramble, not really having that much.
He's changed his style. I don't know why he's doing that. A lot of the fighters of today in that left. Well, he might but a left lead right cross sometimes.
Round 2, tonight's telecast. Red, Bramble in the purple.
Change the southpaw, and I guess they know he's effective. I pointed out earlier now that it's a very unusual way of breathing. If you look for a punch, and that's not ordinary. You should, with your breath.
It does look unorthodox. It appears as if he's struggling a little bit.
It might be. You can never tell. He's back Canada. Maybe it's the change of the weather, or our weather here has been extremely bad. It might be his respiratory tract. I don't know.
Able to bounce away by Bramble, but Hart pretty much picked it off. Hart, Bramble, but
a very bad habit of keeping his head up that way. He keeps his head up.
It's a very slow starter at that point yet. We'll see.
Well, he's already also very, very quickly. You see that? His right foot there seems to be just.
He's trying to keep Bramble away from the inside. He's getting tagged, Hart. There's a right by Hart that nearly.
And he's catching them very well with the gloves. He's blocking an awful lot of those blows.
Picking those shots off. That right might have snuck, but Bramble not doing what he's to complete this round.
He was telling us that he's ready. Of course, we'll get well with the winner of the Ramirez-Rosario fight next week.
Well, he says there's only one lightweight who would give him trouble. That's Rosario as he moves in on Gaetan Hart. Well, he wants to put him away right now.
Yeah, he's determined to end this, and he had that attitude right from the start, as you pointed out, Steve.
Livingstone Bramble uncorking everything in Hart's direction right now. And now Hart trying to bounce back out of the corner.
I don't know whether it'd be the wise thing for Gaetan Hart to do, but he will stay there.
Left hook by Bramble to the ring. Finding it.
Well, it seems right now that Gaetan Hart has a cut over his left eye. It's just detected that this very moment. Aggressor all the way and scoring.
The ring generalship employed by Livingstone Bramble. That's a phrase you like to use. And I'm not going to say anything more to that extent because this is the upset network. We've seen more upsets on Super Fights than you can believe.
Now that left eye is really affecting his vision. He's, you can see him squinting. Aware of it. Tough disadvantage to have.
Under a minute remaining in round 4. The crowd beginning to sense that Livingstone Bramble against Gaetan Hart.
Well, I want to tell you that we had an in Canada that he's fought several times by
aiming for the cut.
Too much now with that left.
Good crowd, lively crowd.
Yeah, he just keeps on him all the time, and Gaetan Hart keeps backing up. And I think he's taken the fiber right out of Gaetan Hart at this point in time.
Boy.
And that cut, of course, won't do him any good.
Bramble, relentless. Continues to barrel in on Gaetan. 1-1 with 10 knockouts.
Squared away type of fighter. His right shoulder is not back, like in a kind of a fencing position. He's squared away, and he's a target for jabs and right crosses all the way.
He's got a lot of similarities inside. He gets.
Bramble protects himself well. He's got his elbows in close, hit very, very.
By Bramble that made contact off fight. Now this is where we'll see.
I'd like to point out another thing. One of the reasons that Bramble's left jab is so, his right heel never, and he leads in with the left with his weight behind him.
And Bramble, that's one of his.
As we said before, up on that eye, you don't even see any blood right now. Plays too, right in the corner of the eye.
Remaining in this 5th round. Able to cover up and pick it off.
Really can't push off.
Livingstone, but it's Livingstone. Hart back. Livingstone Bramble. He takes a run at Hart. As we wrap things up. But watch Hart here.
That lead, and he came right in with
Galliano stopping that blood. Is that ever so quick?
Oh, he is so fast. And he realizes that Hart is open for the right cross all the time.
Now he's.
Hart is carrying his hands entirely too low, and he was shook up then.
Hart. And Hart's in trouble. Hart's in trouble. He's stunned.
Yes, he is.
Jumping all over Hart. Hart says, "Come on back." He invites him in for more.
Well, that to show Ali started that. You didn't hurt me.
Packed crowd at the top of Hart's head.
What mystifies me.
Your eyes, that's a mirror up above the ring. So you're not seeing double vision.
Same way.
You think perhaps Bramble might,
from hitting him so
arm weary from throwing so many punches. He missed with the right. He came right back. That is Livingstone Bramble. And that had effectiveness.
You said something that interested me earlier in the fight, Steve. You said that maybe his eagerness could really destroy him. And, you know, I think he is overly anxious and too eager.
Hart able to slip away. Well, he had his head snapped back just now, Hart did.
His guard up. He's real tight.
And the last fight for Bramble was February 23rd on Hatfield at Ice World in Totowa. Everything just about that Hart.
But in the meantime, some jabs that are going in between that guard, but not enough to bother him.
Domination.
Mostly like slaps.
Hart tried that.
Bramble's back in the effective left cross. That left cross as Gaetan Hart's backing up. When Gaetan Hart's coming in. Now he's gone back to the He's a more orthodox style.
He stuck out the chin. He's got a pretty good joke. A right by Bramble to the ear of Hart.
I have a feeling that if we could get him into the ring, Gaetan Hart to step back.
Giving himself some, does not want to fight Bramble's fight and get inside. Hart seems to be gaining momentum, getting more his best round. He's dancing around now. Gaetan Hart. As we wrap up, Bramble beat Tommy something, and Bramble said, "Yeah, I will see what transpires here in round 8."
I still have to maintain. Really do it. He's staying on the outside.
Away, wiggles away now as he was before.
To that flat-footedness after. It's an accumulation of the kind of a fighter who gets hurt. Of course, emotional, traumatic fights himself with Ralph. We'll get to that name. Missed the action here.
Summerhay.
Cleveland Denny.
He won the Denny in Montreal. Uppercut. The midsection having any effect.
Now, if Bramble would, I have to repeat that continually, that would be his best advantage.
Hart in the head as Hart was going backwards.
There wasn't one clinch all night.
Wouldn't you know it? You really know a good referee when you don't see much of him.
As a matter of fact, I've conducted a picture and in my thing that I always maintain that.
How do you like that right hand? Gaetan Hart, that really.
Bramble is leading a little too much with the right, though.
The bell is coming. French O-ring.
Or a correct remark. Ed Alian uses, we don't know, it's his secret. It's a white compound that he puts on there. Not Moncel Salute.
Bramble has been in command here, the 7th round.
Some of the little tag now That right hand is connecting all the time.
No knockdowns in this push and almost went down.
I think Bramble is concentrating on that right crossing it all the time.
There's that mirror effect. He pushes Hart back into the rope with a punch. He wants to get him where he wants him, inside of the corner. And Bramble is pouring it on, right up above us. Bramble airing it out, and Hart's in trouble.
Yeah, he's taking an awful lot of punishment. It's been cruel to take this kind of punishment. And they ought to watch this carefully now because he's just taking too much.
A watchful eye of Tony Perez, but Hart survives that flurry.
Face is in very bad shape, as we can see right here. It's a little swollen, and the cut's open.
And the crowd appreciates, under a minute remaining, round 9.
It's very difficult, as we said earlier in the evening.
A left hook by Bramble. And again, Hart staggers to the ropes.
Bramble is just setting up and getting set good and firm and throwing some real powerful blows now.
Dynamite shots. Jab by Bramble. That had a lot of power behind it to the head of him.
Sometimes that courage is the thing that really hurts fighters.
But it's not affecting Livingstone as we head for the...
Hart is really game and courageous to a point where it's hard. Bramble is all over him. Lefts and rights, everything is working now.
Swarming all over him.
He hits from every angle. He can back up and hit you with the left hook, and it's just as effective. But I want to tell you, Gaetan Hart must be able to take a tremendous punch because he's been hit with everything. This accumulation of shooting to the eye, you know, he likes the, but he's been throwing everything effectively.
We have seen just about the entire to haunt Gaetan Hart. Or aiming right at the cut. Head back.
Uppercuts, left hooks, right crosses from all. Look at that full right cross.
Livingstone Bramble doubling up on the right.
Take him out ever since the first round, and he just
mentioned that before.
He'll feel a lot of pain around the head.
Close to the action. About Billy didn't need to.
Oh, his fights, and he's never done that before. It's the first time I've seen him do that. You know, with the left cross.
Crowd is trying to urge Hart on. Gaetan, but he is not penetrating. Bramble covering up. Livingstone Bramble, but nothing to...
Whenever he starts a little, also have pity for him.
The crowd very appreciative of Hart's. You have to appreciate the in the ring.
Reiterate again that those Canadian fighters...
Remember George Chavallo? He could take some punishment.
A lot of unnecessary punishment. Here he is. He gets hurt, and he comes back again.
Yeah, this fight is history. That earlier action, look at Bramble work.
He's right on the target. He keeps coming back. We know that he's tough. Bramble to give his best shots.
Bramble!